Hello everyone. Welcome to ixamBee. We have with us today Mr. Vishal Kumar, who has completed and successfully become a NABARD Grade A officer this year from the IT stream. So many congratulations, Vishal.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vishal, for taking our time to talk with us today. Vishal, has completed his master's, his graduation, and then master's in technology. He also has a 7 years experience across two companies, Wipro Technologies and Capgemini Technologies, and a very interesting background. I was talking and understanding how he managed to hold a master's degree also and has an experience also of 7 years. So how did it work out? So he was telling me about how he did his MTech. So very interesting, Vishal. First, before we talk about NABARD itself, if we can understand how your background has moved in terms of work and education in the last 7 years.
Sure, ma'am. So I graduated in 2016, and during that, in my campus selection, I got selected for Wipro Technologies. Mm-hmm. And in that, during that time, there was this clause when I joined Wipro. So they were providing, or they were sponsoring the MTech degree course.
Okay.
So it was in line. It was like we were working for 5 days, and then we had this on weekends we used to study. There was a proper class and all. So when I joined this Wipro, it gave me a lot of experience as well, along with my studies. So after 4 years, I got this MTech degree course in software engineering, and I had 4 years of experience as well in a good organization. So that gave me a solid base because wherever you go, once people join jobs, when they do graduation and they join the job, they are like they rarely do their masters, or they rarely pursue their masters, which is something I think everyone should pursue their masters journey, because that is not just helpful for their professional growth, as well as once you do masters, it opens a vast opportunities for a person. Rather it is pursuing higher studies, or there are a lot of government openings coming up which specifically requires master degree. So having that master degree is a great benefit. So from there I invested, or I was working in Wipro for, let's say, 5 years, after which I joined another organization, which is Capgemini, and I'm working currently in that organization since last 2.5 years. So yeah, this is my study journey. And
great. That's amazing. Very nice, good experience. And college, as you mentioned, MTech from BITS Pilani. So it's not even like it's been done like a distance learning course or anything. So you've got a degree from BITS Pilani in software engineering, which is very good, with experience from one of the top IT companies in the country, Wipro, and now you're working with Capgemini. That's great. So I can see, how happy you are with the progression you've made with your career over the last 7 years since your graduation. So what made you think about NABARD, and that too from the IT stream?
Right. So it's very interesting story, because I read about NABARD. I knew how NABARD works and what is its role in the rural development, but I did not pursue NABARD as an aspirant. I was not, I was not aware about it, what job profile NABARD offers and how we get into it. So it is partially luck, and I could say, because I got this notification of NABARD that there is this opening, and when I deep dived into it, so I saw that they are hiring specialists as well. Because I was not aware. There is rarely very few opportunities in any government services where there is a specialization for computer IT. There are here and there few, but they are very rare. So when I saw this, that they are they want to hire IT specialist. So I saw it as a very good opportunity for me because I had a good experience in IT of let's say 7 years, and I had all the required degrees as well. So I thought this is a very good option for me, and I did more research about NABARD, that what job profile it offers, what are the perks and salary benefits. So these were very in line with the current standards which are offered by any good industry. So it was like a complete package, I would say, because a person is getting good salary, good exposure, and also to work in uh, directly where you can see that your work has an impact to people's life. So that was very good, and I saw that this is a opportunity which I can explore. Although I was not very much aware, how this entire journey will go through and what I need to prepare. So when I got this notification, I was completely blank because I had no prior experience in attempting such government exams. So I was totally new into this arena. But I saw this opportunity, and I thought, let's give it a try, and I would give my best and hope for the best. So from there it all started.
Right. So, Vishal, like you mentioned, I think it's true for a lot of people. So, yes, like we were talking before also, it's very interesting to know. And this is actually a factor that many times we're not even aware about the opportunities that may be there. Deciding to go for them is the second part. First is the awareness, right? So we do understand that gap, at ixamBee, that's where we started, that we may sometimes be offering, of course, wherever we keep building a lot of courses, exams, and tests and all to, for all different kinds of opportunities. But even if we are not able to do for certain particular exams, we keep telling about those opportunities because, as you rightly mentioned, these can sometimes be niche opportunities. For example, people may be aware about what NABARD is. People may be aware about what RBI is. And why I'm saying that, we have a currency note, we may see Reserve Bank of India written on it and think, yes, there's an organization, and think, okay, this must be something about the government. But we may not know that they recruit directly. We may not know what kind of people they're recruiting. Similarly for NABARD, as you mentioned rightly, people may be aware that it's an organization that's helping in the agriculture and rural development in the country, but they may not know that they are also a financing institute. They may not know that they hire for finance streams. They may not know that they hire for IT streams, or similarly they hire for many. Sometimes they hire for legal, sometimes they hire for Rajbhasha. Right. And like this, there are many such institutes. SEBI is there, IRDA is there, which on a standalone basis we may be aware about, but we may not know how they recruit. So, you're saying this and you're bringing this point out. So I thought I will elaborate a little on this because like this, many aspirants or people can be there who may not even know about the opportunities that exist. So thanks, Vishal, for bringing that out upfront, because that gave me a way to actually tell about this, because this may be a reality not just with you but many other people. So, Vishal, like you mentioned, you were new because you've always you've been working since your graduation, and I'm sure you've, like you mentioned, you did your MTech also during this, and from one opportunity the other you moved. So government job preparation was something new to you, right? And you did not know what the exam pattern would be, what all subjects preparation it requires, how you should go about it. So what did you do? Once you got to know, as you said, luck that you saw that notification and then you felt that, I could give it a try. But what after that? What did you
do? So I wanted to elaborate on that, ma'am. So when I saw this notification, so I got to know that NABARD is this organization which directly recruits at a very good position, like as an assistant manager every day. So then I did some more research, and like you mentioned rightly, ma'am, that then I became aware that SEBI also hires for certain grades, and we have have RBI grade B as well. So then I did research and I got to know about all of these exams, this supervisory bodies and regulatory bodies. So I saw it very tempting because I been working in IT for last 7 years. I was not aware that these organizations hire specialists as well, and also there are offering such a good position as well as salary and all the lot of benefits which comes with it. So I saw it very tempting, and when I did research, not just NABARD, I looked into other exams as well. That I looked into SEBI, I looked into RBI grade. So although I mean the most suited for me was NABARD because the syllabus which I saw was very in line with my studies, what I had studied, and what were my strong points. So then I got to know about these all the exams, and I saw that these are such exams which people I would say, because I know my friends who are not aware, or let's say maybe if they try they could get it into it, but people are not aware about these exams, especially people from IT background or other fields, because people who are pursuing government services, they are aware about a lot of exams government takes. But other than that, the working professionals, sometimes, or let's say most of the time, they miss all these opportunities because they are not aware. So yeah, when I did those research, I got to know about it, and going through the exam pattern of the NABARD, I saw that this is something which I can give in my best and hope for the best. I can try at least. So from there, the journey started, and my preparation started once I saw the notifications.
Okay. So, like when you started researching, I'm sure you were looking specifically how NABARD IT can be prepared for. So when you saw the syllabus, when you saw the exam pattern, what was your approach? Because it's separate dedicated preparation you might have had to do for phase one specifically, where there are almost 8 subjects, 3 of merit, 5 of qualifying nature. So there's quant, English, reasoning, decision making, computers, GA, agriculture and rural development, and economic and social issues. So many subjects you had to study. One, how did you understand the exam pattern? And then what was your modus operandi to go about preparing for it?
Sure.
There, Vishal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. There was some internet slowdown.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first thing what I did is I just downloaded the syllabus or exam pattern of NABARD grade A. So I went through it thoroughly because before getting into the preparation, I wanted to know my battles. I wanted to know what are the challenges which I would face through the entire journey, because I did not want that I just get into it and in somewhere in the middle I just leave the fight. I just come out. So I wanted an entire picture from end to end. So I did a very good. I invested a lot of time in memorizing the exam patterns and the syllabus, because that is when I thought, once I am completely sure that this exam pattern I am aware, I understood it, and the syllabus, that is what it asked in the phase 1 is totally different, and we have a lot of varieties on different sections, and then in phase 2 we have subject specific questions. So I invested a lot of time in analyzing it properly, and then I decided I can go into it. So my first thing was that go through the exam pattern very thoroughly and the syllabus, and then look into the previous year questions. So here when I went to look for previous year questions, so since it is a computer based exam, so we did not have all the questions listed out. We had memory based questions only, which were available on. But for phase 1 it was available, but for phase 2 it was not available for IT background, because it was somewhere available for generalist and for other streams, but for IT stream I could not find it very easily. I looked into YouTube and Google as well, with various websites, but I could not find anything related to phase 2, which was for IT specialist. So then I came across ixamBee, where I could see that okay, there was some free content available regarding IT specialists. When I downloaded it, I analyzed that okay, these are the previous year questions which came. So that gave me a very good idea, and it gave me confidence that yeah, I can attempt this exam. This is something which I can do, and there was little confidence which came to my mind when I went through the question. Because if you are not aware about the questions which have been asked previously, you are like just getting into the battle and you don't know your opponents. It is like that. So the content which was available in iXample for computer IT stream, I downloaded it, and when I went through it, I analyzed it, and then I decided that yeah, I can give it a try. So from there, I started preparations then.
Great. So, thanks, Vishal, for stating again this, because again, this is another thing which ixamBee really believes in, that if you are going for anything, you need to understand it very, very well. And in that, if I'm talking in context with the exams and these opportunities, it is very important, as you rightly said, first understand the exam pattern. The syllabus in many organizations, these recruiting organizations give a syllabus. Sometimes they don't give a syllabus. So, and in that case, previous year questions, what has been the pattern of similar type of exams of related streams by related organizations is very, very helpful, which we take very, very seriously, because these exams don't give out your question papers. They as they happen in an online format. So they don't give out any question papers or answer keys. So memory-based questions for your previous year, understanding becomes a very, very integral part. And we provide for various exams, again, as I say, irrespective of we providing a course or not providing a course, for multiple number of exams, authentic previous year papers, authentic pre-mock test we provide, so that people get the right guidance, no miscommunication, no misguidance, because it's ultimately about your career, and that should not be taken lightly. So that those authentic information we keep out on our website, freely available. All you have to do is look for it, utilize it in the right manner, and go towards your dream. And of course, we are there to mentor and guide you further beyond these whatever levels you want guidance at. So if I talk about phase 1, so once you knew the pattern, once you knew what the past year questions are for IT, but that will come in phase 2. First, you needed to qualify the phase 1. So what were you doing? How much time were you spending? Because you're also a working professional. So on a daily basis, how much time were you able to give? And what subjects were you really concentrating on?
Sure, ma'am. So yeah, like you rightly highlighted, ma'am, I was working, so I did not had a lot of time to invest, but I invested my time in disciplined manner. So in the morning, I used to give 1 to 2 hours in the morning, and once I logged off from my job, I used to give other 2 hours, around 2 hours in the night. So just 3 to 4 hours I gave every day. So this is what I gave my time, but mostly I was building the strategy, because in phase 1 there are a lot of sections, reasoning, English, and then computer knowledge, GK, and economic and social issues, and agriculture and rural development, etc. So and we need to qualify, because there is sectional cutoff in
right.
Most of them. We need to bring at least a required amount of marks in each section. So I wanted to channelize my energy into all subjects, because if I score in one section more and in other section I do not pass the sectional cutoff, then it would be of no use. Then, so what was my strategy is, I looked into the previous year marks cutoffs which were available on the website. So I downloaded it for I think for last 2 years only it was available on the websites. So I downloaded it, and when I saw through it, so I could see that for IT professionals or for IT stream, it is benefit, because the cutoff in IT is quite less if we compare it with generals. So that was a plus point for me, because me not being a regular aspirant, so it was, if I would have competed against generalist stream, then I think it would have been very tough for me. I would say it frankly. But since I was applying for specialist, so I saw that okay, for specialist the cutoff is very less if we compare it with generalist stream. So that was a big relief for me. So now I had to focus on the sectional cutoffs. So I saw the sectional cutoffs for English, reasoning, and various other things. So I saw okay, these are achievable, but I need to put my effort into it. Even though it seems the cutoff seems less, it might think that okay, cutoff is very less, we can just give the exam qualified. But I think that would be a very bad. Even though cutoffs are less, you need to give your time like every other aspirant does. We cannot ignore any subject. So I gave my equal time for all the subjects. First, what I did, I attempted the previous year question. That was my first study, because I wanted to look how much knowledge I have and how much more I need to gather the information, and how much more effort or knowledge I need to gather. So my first job was to give the mock whatever was available. So I went into ixamBee site, and there were multiple mocks, free mocks available. So I just signed up, logged in into the website, and I gave a mock test. So I just gave one mock test because I wanted to keep other mock tests for after I have done my preparation. So I gave my one mock test, and I scored fairly well. When I compared it the cutoffs, previous year cutoffs, I could see that I mean I am near the cutoff. I mean I can clear it. So, but there were my weak areas as well. Like my weak area was maths, because I was not into mathematics since my college days. So that was more 7 years ago. So that was the challenge. And again into reasoning. So banking reasoning questions are tough. I would say it is tough, because for someone who has not prepared for it, it is tough. And we need to score at least maybe in each section. So I decided, okay, my weak areas. What are my weak areas? So my weak areas were mathematics and reasoning, because English was my English is fair, because from the starting, I mean it's average. So I thought English is fine. I can crack it. Computer knowledge also is fine, because I had computer background, so it was not much of a problem for me for computer. But the areas which I need to focus was English, maths, reasoning, and the merit sections, which were ARD and ESI, because these were the sections for which I need to study. Right. So I analyzed my weak areas and where I need to put my efforts. Yeah. Then I took the content which was available in YouTube. I did for reasoning, for various other different portals. It was not any specific, but I attended the content which is available for reasoning, for mathematics. I practiced it a lot with in line with the previous year questions and the mock test which were available. So based on it, my target was to clear the cutoff. So I did not put a lot of effort in all the sections. I just wanted to uh, keep my resources short, because since I was working, I did not have enough time to invest in all the sections, all the subjects.
So given the time, basically you strategized, what all requirement is there, and whatever the qualifying subjects are, you made sure that I qualify for them. And what the merit sections are, you do a little better, give more time to it to move ahead. So that's a nice point, because yes, putting in place competitive exams, there's no shortcut to hard work. I will never say that there are shortcuts to hard work. hard work you will have to do irrespective of the sources, that amount of time one chooses to give in. But a very, very important part the strategy plays in. How you use those resources, how you, whether it is time, whether it's information, whether it is a course that you take, whether it's the tests that are there, whatever resources you are taking into place, how you strategically fit those things in is also very, very important. So I think, Vishal, with all your understanding, first you devoted good enough of time of understanding it, collating your resources, and then making sure that you stick to that strategy of yours, right? Giving 2 hours in the morning, giving 2 hours in the evening, and then areas where you need to focus, areas where you are good, where areas where you are weak, and what those cutoffs are, that you making sure that you cross that cutoff for the qualifying part. So sounds like a very well thought strategy and plan that has been executed well. Vishal, if I move to phase 2, which was your domain core area because of which you thought of giving this exam? And there's a syllabus that has been given. So what was your preparation like? How much time again you were devoting? And would you say there were certain topics that need more attention in your IT preparation?
Yeah, sure. So phase 2, like people are aware that we have two papers. So one is English, which is of 100 marks, and then we have other of again 100 marks. So in English, we get 3 questions till now. There is one is essay, one is letter writing, and one is précis.
Précis, yeah.
So yes. So again, cracking or getting a good marks in English paper is I would say utmost important, because if a candidate loses his focus or it doesn't give much time on English, I would say the cracking exam would be very, very tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I did not ignore English, although my English is fair, not very good, but it is fair. So I wanted to make sure that okay, this is an area where I can leverage, because questions or the second paper, which was computer, the knowledge of computer might be similar for most of the people, maybe, or if they are preparing for it, they would be at similar level. Because the questions are generic, they are not very specialist type of question, or you can say technical question. The questions which come in NABARD phase 2 is of you can say the questions like we read in graduation, right? The papers or the questions which come in graduation, because they are mostly theoretical. I would say entirely theoretical in this paper 2. So that is something which, if any aspirant or any student has given a time, they can come at same level. So for me, the deciding factor was English. I mean, it might vary for other people, but for me, it was English. So I thought, if I get an edge in the paper 1, English paper, then I would stand out uh, in the crowd. So I gave time in English. I uh, did mock. There were mocks available where I attended the course, free course again from YouTube, from ixamBee. So there were questions which were previously asked, and it was discussed. And then again some mock questions for essay, letter writing, and pressing. So I practiced those questions on my own, getting that from the videos which were available on YouTube, and then practicing it. So getting a good content in essay writing is very important. And for that, one habit which I would say that everyone should develop is of reading newspaper, because that gives you an entire idea of how everything is happening all around the world. And the content which you need to put in the essay, you wouldn't have to think about it. It would just simply come out of your mind when you just read the topic of an essay. And since essay is of 40 marks, that is of very, very high importance. You cannot miss out the essay, right? So I focused on that. And since I had a reading habit of newspaper, the content was more or less available, but the structure, how we need to put in, that I had to practice. Because that is of very high importance. Because anyone can put the points, but just putting the points would not fetch very good marks in essay. You need to structure it. Uh, in a better way. So that guidance I got from free YouTube classes or videos which are available in the portal. So there I prepared my paper one in phase two. And coming to paper two, when I looked into the syllabus of what NABARD provides in the official website, it is very kind of abstract, I would say, or it's very vague because they have listed down a lot of areas which I mean rarely people from maybe in colleges, they are not taught in depth. For example, there were management system or smart systems, and there were some other topics. And they covered everything, whatever is in computer, they covered everything in their syllabus. So, I mean, going through the entire syllabus in depth is quite tiresome if you are not preparing for, let's say, complete year. So since I was working in this IT, I had a knowledge that okay, what kind of questions or what are the main areas, main topics from which I can expect the questions. Okay, so one was when we say programming is very important in an IT, right? So from programming, there are some basic concepts which are asked in any interview. Because in the past, I have attended even many interviews for I mean there are something there are some topics which are uh, they are they are like you cannot miss them out. So one is oops concept, which is in
Right.
programming.
Very, very
So
important.
one
Yeah.
oops concept, and then we have software. When we say software engineering, what are the software life cycles? What are the different methodologies which are used in software planning, software designing, implementation. So these are the topics which are of utmost importance, right? So I put my more focus on those areas, and then we have emerging technologies. Those are very important because
True.
if you are not aware about emerging technologies, then I mean that is being hired from a specialist is kind of no use. You need
Yeah.
to be aware of all the emerging technologies. So I focused on all the emerging technologies. Let's say like big data, although they came much earlier, they are not very recent, but they are still emerging. They are still
Right.
developing, and there
They're
is a lot of
still
scope of
developing,
growth.
they're still evolving, and and
Correct.
it's not like they've reached their highest point of
Peak,
usage till peak. Yes, yeah.
correct,
So true.
correct. So big data, data warehousing, and machine learning, artificial
Right.
intelligence. These areas I covered little in depth because I was not aware what kind of questions would come. So I prepared little in depth also, not just overview, because just
Mhm.
overview would not help you write answers, right?
Right.
Because when you have to type, you have to put in some answers. You need to have
Some
much more
content.
than
Right.
just definitions.
Right. Right.
Yes, if you just read the definition, it won't be of
And
much
it won't
use.
even
So I
differentiate
did
you
some.
from any other general person then, because I could also
Yeah,
just read
correct,
definitions and then write those down. Then
yeah,
how will it differentiate you and me, or somebody who has a technology degree and somebody who doesn't? So
correct,
I think that's where the difference will come in the answer. So a little depth of
right,
content would be needed.
correct. So yeah, so I focused on those topics more, but uh, I covered all the topics basically because whatever was mentioned in the syllabus, at least I wanted to touch base all the
Hmm.
topics.
Hmm.
I focused or gave more time on some topics like programming concepts, OOPS concepts, what is
Right.
abstraction, what is inheritance, these kind of concepts, and then the software engineering techniques, uh,
And
what
then,
what are software designing, implementation, and all methodologies, and again emerging technology. So these
technology.
three areas were my prime focus, but
Hmm.
I touch base all the topics which I mentioned. Because
Right.
you cannot ignore anything. Yeah, right,
Mhm.
because you are not aware, you cannot ignore any point, everything is important. So I whatever was mentioned in the syllabus, I made sure that I at least I had some idea of all the topics.
Okay.
So that was my strategy map
Okay.
for phase two.
So if I summarize few points, when I was listening, there were a few points that made a lot of sense. As and worth repeating. So I'll make a summary of some of the important points you mentioned for phase two. One, I think I like, Vishal, how well you did the research in terms of giving and understanding the exam. So when you mentioned the importance of English, I think something again very, very underestimated and underrated by a lot of students, right? We jump into the areas of comfort or into the areas that, we can see on the face of it. So it's IT stream. Okay, let's just worry about IT, forget about the other paper, or we will worry about it later. Or, it is the finance stream, just let's worry about the finance. And these streams would have extensive, exhaustive courses, courses, I'm saying, syllabus also. So it's natural that, it attracts more attention and more, mental space of ours. But very well pointed out, and that's why I'm highlighting it again. Please do not underestimate the importance of descriptive English. It's a 100-mark paper out of the 200 marks that you have in phase two. So it's definitely important. And I like the fact that you said, you found that, somewhere I will be able to find an edge if I do good in this. Because yes, normal tendency is people will just focus on the specialized subject, or English तो हो ही जाएगी, English तो हम रोज ही बोलते हैं, मतलब not for everybody, maybe not for everybody, सबके लिए नहीं भी हो सकता, English difficult भी होगा कई लोगों के लिए, लेकिन अगर आप और मैं अगर जैसे बात कर रहे हैं तो टेंडेंसी होती है कि नहीं, हम बोलते हैं, हमें समझ में आती है, तो वो तो हम कर ही लेंगे. But yes, the nuances of it is, we don't just have to write. It's actually a paper is not checking your English knowledge of the subject. It is checking your writing skills, your drafting skills. So it is about whether you will be able to structure those points. आपको points सब आते होंगे, लेकिन आप उस समय कितनी आराम से उसको बता सकते हैं. That is where the difference comes. So thanks for highlighting that, Vishal. I brought it out specifically for that particular reason. And I am really, what do I say? I don't have really the exact words. I'm very excited. I'm very happy. And I'm also very, you may say, honored here to see how well you have, utilized the ixamBee's free resources so well, whether it's on the website or on the YouTube. So you really pulled out the right things from all the sources that are available on ixamBee, trying to understand all the descriptive English, because yes, we have done amazing classes on YouTube. And you have been one who've been able to unearth those and, find the right points for your preparation. So amazing. I'm really glad to see that, how well you've utilized it and used it in your journey. And yes, amazing points brought out by Vishal for the IT stream paper, how important programming is, how important is the emerging technologies. We have to be up to date, and the importance of newspapers from both the aspects. I think irrespective of the government jobs you're giving, irrespective of which stream you are giving, newspaper is one habit, I'm saying out loud here, is something everybody should imbibe as early in your life as possible. And it's never too late. If not yet, please start it right away. The importance of that can just not be ignored, whether or not you are preparing for any exam. We have to be aware about what's happening around us, and that helps us to change and adapt to change easily. So it's a necessity, I would say, and I'm saying it out loud over here. So whoever is listening, please, if you have still not started, it's not too late. Start it right away. It's very, very important. So thanks, Vishal. Very, very good points. I loved listening to each of them, how well you have brought. It shows the amount of structuring you have in your mind and how well you've executed it. And coming to the last phase, Vishal, interview. So you've been, following thoroughly, researching, executing your entire plan throughout the written examination. What about the interview?
Yeah. So when the list for mains came, I was very nervous actually, because in phase two, I missed to highlight this point. But in phase two, on the subject specific paper where we have, let's say, computer, So there are two sections, right? Section 1 where we have objective, and section 2 where we have descriptive. You need to type in the answers. So in the first part, section 1, which is objective, uh, that was something which I would say I was not very prepared, because in section 1 objective there are two types of questions, right? Which I was not aware. So I mean, I was aware, but the questions, because it was lengthy, those questions are lengthy, so memory based questions were not available, because there was a lot of lengthy passages. So what was there is, in section 1 there are big passages, and in those passages they're completely technical passages, right? Regarding, let's say, some networking thing. In those passages there is blank spaces, A, B, C, D, and there are blank spaces. So uh, the questions ask that uh, what should be the most appropriate word in those blank spaces from the entire passage, and that is the technical passage. So when you read that passage, one, it is time consuming, and again it is technical. So you need to think, you need to put your mind. It is not just like an English passage which you can just read and grammatically you can select it. So, and options are also very similar. it can confuse anyone that what I should select. Should I select this one or that one? And along with that, since it has negative marking, it builds up the pressure. Right. So that was a challenging part, which I had to face in the exam, and it is very true for any real life exam, right? You can prepare a lot, you can strategize a lot, but there will be some areas or some challenges for which you won't be prepared enough, right? But you have to face it, and you need to uh, go through it. You need to handle it, improvise your ways. So that was a challenging area, but I went through it. I attempted those questions for which I was sure. For which I was not sure, I left the question, because I did not want to gather more negative marks.
Right.
That would have kicked me out of the competition.
Right. So taking that calculated risk is important, but you have to take a calculated risk, because sometimes you can take the risk of guessing, or if you're close enough, that you can take that chance. But sometimes not just for the sake of it, we cannot, because there's a negative marking there. So right, that's true. Yeah, Vishal.
So I was sure about English, that I would score decent marks in English, because paper went very well for me. And in this paper, the second paper, the descriptive answers were also fine. I thought, okay, the answers are decent, which I have typed in. But for the objective part, I was not very much sure, right? Because since it is objective and it has negative mark, I was not very sure. So when the result came out for mains, I was nervous, and it was like I was not sure whether my name will or my roll number will come into the list. But when it came, I was very relieved. And then my strategy was, okay, now I have cleared 2 battles. Now the interview is left, and the weightage of interview is also quite high, right? We have 50 marks interview.
50 marks.
So out of 250 marks, you have 50 marks for interview. So we cannot ignore that. So since I had done my preparation, prelims and mains, using the free materials which are available on ixamBee, I thought to give my best in the interview, because this area I did not wanted to go out of competition or the race just because I did not get proper guidance in interview. So I looked through other uh, uh, portals which are available for interview, other courses. But since I was very familiar with ixamBee, and I had very good experience, because it had helped me in passing the prelims and mains. So I went for the interview course of ixamBee. I did not want. I wanted that any area. I mean, although
the stakes were high at this stage, so you didn't want to take that chance of not having done everything that you could. At least nobody can be sure about the result, but at least let's take all the steps that's possible. I'm just putting words in your mouth over here. What you were thinking. So
that is what I wanted to say. Thanks a lot. So yeah, I did not wanted to miss that. So I took the course of ixamBee, and through that entire course, um, I I I was guided through the entire process. What are the processes? What type of questions which we can face in interview? What are the topics? What are the sub areas which we need to cover for an interview? So I just listed them out in all the classes which I attended for our interview guidance. So I just listed down all the points and what source material we need to study, because from there only I got to know from this interview course that NABARD releases one annual report, which is very important for an interview. Right? You might not get direct question from annual report, but it gives you an entire lot of information about how NABARD works, and what you get to know about how things work on the ground, how policy decisions are taken, and on what areas NABARD is focusing, what are its interests, what are its areas which NABARD is looking to achieve. So there are a lot of information in the annual report.
Yes.
And also through the website, NABARD website is also very good. So these are all information that where I need to go, what study material I need to use. So these are all information I got from the ixamBee interview course. And I listed down everything, and I went through their website, annual report, although not by hearting word by word, but getting a gist of it, and highlighting the areas. Let's say, since I was giving for IT, so for specific areas in IT, that areas where NABARD is involved, NABARD's IT department is involved, like digitization of various portals of NABARD, or the emerging technologies which NABARD is using, or what are the scope for improvement in NABARD, and what areas they can, let's say, machine learning or artificial intelligence, these kind of areas which can uh, work, or which are the scope which NABARD can use in future. So those kind of areas, I developed my thing around my study around that. So yeah, I did NABARD annual report website, and apart from that, since I was I was attending this exam from a specialist role, so I was expecting some questions maybe from my subject specific as well. Like maybe they might ask some questions regarding machine learning or artificial intelligence, or any programming methodologies or concept. Because in an interview, you cannot predict anything. You can just prepare all the areas, but you cannot predict. So I prepared all the areas, whether it be the annual report website, the information which I provided on the website, or the subject specific or technical knowledge. I invested in my time in all of these areas. And yeah, interview went well. It was, although I was very nervous when I gave the mock interview of ixamBee. I was very nervous, I would say, um, because there is this pressure, even if how much you prepare, there always will be the pressure of interview. But giving the mock interview gave me, or uh, I got an idea what are my weak areas in which I need to prepare, or which I need to make sure that I am well prepared in that area before I go into the interview. So when I went to the interview, it was very good experience, and I did not face any unexpected questions uh, in the interview, and it went very well.
Great, Vishal. That's amazing, and that's true that one has to prepare. So yes, you cannot predict anything exactly what can be asked, but yes, there will be a lot of expected areas that you can work on, and that's the entire purpose of the interview courses that we design. So it's not a simple mock interview that's a part of the course. So we put in energies in terms of guiding you right from filling out your biodata form for the interview till the conducting of a mock interview, with an extensive feedback, right? How much time we give for conducting the mock interview, we give similar kind of time for giving you the feedback in terms of the expected areas you should move in, because definitely nobody can predict the questions, but you can definitely predict where it is likely to go based on your answers and how you respond. So that's the entire journey. And I hope the paid course for the interview was as helpful and even better than all the free resources that you used at ixamBee for your written exam phases.
Yes, definitely. It was very helpful for me.
Great, Vishal, and we am happy. And as I said, in between also, it's amazing how well you used all your resources, whether it came to time, whether it came to understanding how you should strategize, how you should go about this preparation and giving the exam right from phase 1 till the interview stage, and how well you unearthed everything out from ixamBee to your best usage. I think I am amazed, and I am equally excited and happy about it. And it's been a pleasure talking to you. And a very, very interesting journey, I will say, Vishal. One of a very interesting journeys of how one came across the opportunities to, cracking it with a very focused, strategized, and hard work. I think a very good combination of strategy, opportunity, and hard work. And all three have their importance. And you brought it out in this entire conversation, the importance of each of them. Neither of them can be neglected or ignored, but they should be used in the right amount to give you the perfect mix. So it's been an amazing conversation with you, Vishal, to understand each of these three aspects and how well they play together. So I think very nicely executed, Vishal. And of course, the success is all yours. You have all the fruits of all that you've done over the last few months. And wishing you all the best for a very enriching career with NABARD now.
Thank you, and thanks a lot. It was very good experience from me, from the ixamBee help which I got, and the entire journey, because I was preparing all alone. So I think without the guidance or not the materials which I got from my ixamBee, it would have been very, very, very difficult. So thanks a lot. Thanks all your support which I got from my ixamBee team, and it was very well.
Thank you. Thank you, Vishal, for appreciating. And yes, we will continue to do that. Support and mentorship at every level, at every phase, wherever you require, ixamBee is there to help. Thank you so much, Vishal, and all the best again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.